Now, so my first title page is there.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's the last page. Now
we see empowering digitization.
Now it's good. It's perfect.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the patience. Appreciate it. Sure. So now let's jump right in. So 6 weeks ago in Davos, we said that we are going to be able to prepare and to provide a presentation with a demonstration of our uConekt payment solution that is titled uConekt Pay. And so now let's talk a little bit more about what has taken place over the last 6 weeks, a brief overview of our technology, and what else we can bring to the market. So what is exactly our challenge that we're solving today? Today you have the open finance world, you have the crypto world, and they're silos. They're not connected together. And one of the issues is that how can you bridge two different tech stacks together? They are limited integration services that are basically band-aid solutions that the banks are putting together, the crypto companies are putting together, but they're not really working efficiently to ensure that at the technology layers, it is done properly. You've seen sometimes the setup is difficult, it's questionable, and also the security model that you see all these hacks taking place at these different exchanges. These are challenges that faces every financial company in the world and even corporate companies in the world. How do we solve that problem? Very simply, we put together a solution based on the blockchain that will bridge the open finance world, the fiat world, with the crypto world, securing it so that consumers and merchants will be able to bridge their solution and putting that on, whether it's an online shop, whether it's designed as a B2B customer working with consumers, or a B2B to C customers where you have a multiple display of services and products that you're bringing to the market. So a one-stop shop using a single wallet for multi-currencies. And of course, if the solution is not secure, what's the point of doing it? So we have to make sure we're secure, and we're using industry standards within the payment space to ensure compatibility, not only to the product and services, but also to ensure the transactions and the funds are all properly secured. What is the highlight of our solution? It is a single wallet designed to host both crypto and fiat. So credit cards, debit cards, bank access, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Those are the popular ones available today. Being able to work within the banking grade transaction security model so that the solutions that are going to be integrated has that layer of protection already built in. Working very closely with core technologies to provide an end-to-end solution for key custody, for tokenization, working within the environment of ensuring that the keys and the tokens are stored in HSMs, basically hardware security modules, to ensuring the authenticity, but also at the same time, the security of the model. API with a set of API tools that allows a merchant to use our open APIs so that they can connect to their pages and being able to open the solution for payments to the rest of the world. So bridging the pay in and the pay out, both for the merchant and for the consumer, so that they can get their products and the merchant can be paid in a timely fashion. So if we look at the whole fully developed product, we start with the different types of payment solutions that are out there, layer that with an API, and then managing the payment infrastructure. Are we doing micropayments? Are we doing recurring payments or subscriptions? Are we doing a single payment transaction? And these are all very key and very integral into understanding what our customers are asking for in the different models of businesses that are out there. And if you look at the type of merchants that we are currently engaged with in terms of being able to set up a pilot project, so products like security token offering, an STO, or real estate tokenization, that is taking the world by the storm right now because assets are now being moved into the blockchain, and the goal is to bring that to the market. Subscriptions, you have a news outlet, and that news outlet want to be able to attract the readers, the subscribers, to be able to come online. Well, you want to be able to give them the option of doing subscription models. So once a month, $19.99, $29.99, being able to pay for that and being able to show the simplicity in setting that up, but also being able to get the services associated with it. Now let's go to the actual, services platform, like the banks, whether it's a traditional bank, whether it's a digital bank, whether it's a transit provider. All of these different services model requires the ability for the consumer to have access to these services, but access with their payment schemes according to how they would like it to be done. And the ability to put that together in an existing infrastructure is very difficult. We are proposing an open API concept with a layer of technology using both the crypto stack and the fiat stack to make that work. Another large area that is being addressed right now by a number of projects is in the classified space, the gig economy, that's growing to almost $500 billion over the next 5 years. And in this situation, you want the ability to give the consumer of those gig producers the ability to say, I want you to do something for me. So write me a legal brief. That legal brief is going to cost X amount of Swiss francs. And then the ability to ensure that throughout the entire process, from the day the person says, produce something for me, to the delivery of it, we want it to be managed from the consumer standpoint for securing not only the payment, but securing the delivery of that project as an end result, and then being able to rate that producer to ensure that they continue to get recurring businesses. And that's one of the processes that is going to be delivered within our PSP solution. What will the transaction flow looks like if you take a look at the wallet itself and how that will incorporate the multiple different technology layers? So if you look at, so my right hand side, which is going to be your left hand side on the screen. So you have the uConekt Pay platform, then you have the number of different types of payment schemes, and then on the other side, you have the sellers with their shops, and then the consumers coming into it, and the ability to ensure that frictionless transactional model with the ability for pay in and pay out is being managed closely and 100% securely by this digital wallet to ensure that the transactions can be taking place and taking place efficiently. Where's our roadmap? And so I started out by saying today, in the next week or two, we are ready to provide a full live demo for anyone who is interested to take a look at our solution. Feel free to reach out. We are taking opportunities right now to show certain parts of our solution with a number of APIs that are already available, both from the fiat stack and also from the crypto. The ability to have a sandbox environment ready this month and being able to deliver that to anyone who's interested in seeing that. We are on track and delivering our full release version, which is set for April. And that is on target with a number of pilot projects that we are engaged with. We know that our solution will be hosted in an environment that is secure. We know that our solution will be hosted in an environment that can scale, looking at exactly something like 10,000 transactions per second. So we know that we will have the performance, we know that we will have the scalability, And we also know that we will have the security working very closely with Core and Phoenix systems. And as we go through our solution over the next 6 to 9 months, our goal is to continue to build on our use cases. We talked about some of them already: classified media content, STO, real estate tokenization, and then continually to update our product to meet those use cases, to refine them. And I'm sure there's going to be tons of other use cases that will come into our product roadmap that we will evaluate, specifically in solutions around the digital banking infrastructure that's in place right now, using the blockchain to ensure that we are completely in sync with what the market is looking for. So that's basically our production environment as we start off, way back talking about 6 weeks ago that we were going to be ready with our roadmap to actually perform and show a demonstration. I know that you'll hear from some of the other presenters, specifically Thomas, and Thomas will be talking about a live hack with one of the pieces of code that will be part of our solution. So that will be very cool and very interesting for you guys to take a look at. I'm now open for questions or any comments that can come to me, and I'm here to answer as much as you can.
No, that's excellent. Thank you very much, Vincent. That's impressive, your presentation. We have had already a discussion here. We have the F&A section where everybody can share some questions. One element was this, is it really a bank account, a mobile app within connects to your API? That was one of the questions, and you can confirm that, right?
Yes, so it will be a combination of a mobile app, of course, with a desktop integration also. So it will be platform agnostic in terms of from the mobile world into the laptop desktop world. And the goal is that we want to be able to provide a set of APIs that will integrate into the existing infrastructure for current ERP that are being used by the customer or the merchant or the product supplier. So we are not going to build our own ERP. We want to integrate with what's already out there in the market. Hope that answers the question.
It does. And I also want to read the answer that Thomas Taroni has already posted in that section. Just to read it out loud so everybody can hear it. Vitus, he offered to Vitus that he could share this information with him in personal later, but in general, yes, it is working like a default PSP solution. Well, I hesitate to accept the term default because what's being done here with uConekt doesn't really exist yet, right? Because it's the added functionality that any online shop can accept most cryptocurrencies that are relevant today. So that, of course, includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and a whole host of others. So I know about the technology behind it, the core crypto stack, of course, since I work for Core Technologies. And I don't want to spoiler too much, but of course, I'm the project manager for this project. But yeah, I can see how this is going to enable something that doesn't exist yet. So yeah, really looking forward to finalizing this project.
There was another question from somebody about this, how a merchant does use uConekt. Is that what? I'm just going to read the question. Oh yeah, this is what has been answered. This is the question that we just talked about. Yeah, how does a merchant use uConekt? Yeah, to summarize, it works like a basic. It's going to feel like a PSP, and that is the part that we're looking for. We're not trying to make it more complicated. We're not going to. One of the main arguments against using cryptocurrencies for your own online shop is always that it's complicated, it's a hassle, and people don't quite know how to handle it. And we're just trying to make that easy, to pack it into something that everybody already knows and that everybody is already familiar with.
So it's going to look like on the surface, it's going to look like, and the user will see a regular PSP solution that just has so much more functionality, which the core technologies is going to enable. All right.
Okay, maybe Thomas or whoever.
I see that there are a couple of questions. I will answer it. Anyone. I have to type it here. Yeah, from my perspective, to answer this here, maybe on a chatty way, is more the PSP solution works really like any PSP solution. In a PSP solution, you have to request firstly 3 links at the PSP infrastructure. You will receive 3 links: the fail link, the success link, and the backlink. And then you will go into the PSP solution, and depends on what happens, you will receive by a webhook the positive or negative result of the payment at the end. So if you have, for example, a WooCommerce WordPress implementation, you will have at the end a WordPress plugin, like with any other PSP solution. There is a question with the mobile app and the own ERP. If you want to integrate it in your own ERP, it will work exactly in the same way as you integrate today a SaferPay or a PostFinance PSP solution. We don't have took here another way. It works exactly in the same way as this other PSP solution is running. Then there is another question: will you issue debit cards? Today is a PSP solution. It's possible to do that, but it's actually not on the roadmap to do that. Then we have the last question here: can you integrate as a white label into another app? Of course, white labeling is a big naming here. If we talk about putting your own skin or theme onto it, that is absolutely no problem. If we talk about the fully white labeling, then we also have to transfer the licenses and so on. That's not possible. So if we talk about like customization, of course, it's fully customizable as any other PSP solution too. We put your logo, your colors, your buttons, whatever. But the system below is running in a data center that is certified. We don't put the whole stack into another data center. That is not possible because it's too big. You will see it later in my demonstration. It's not that small thing. Okay, was all the questions from the crowd here actually. And there is from where you do pull the FX rates. It's different. It depends on the customer. If by default you have three different merchants or exchanges where we put the rates from crypto to US dollar or to Swiss francs. On the other side, for having the exchanges for the real currencies like US dollar and Swiss francs, we're using Fixer.io. That is the provider that also is Microsoft using for the calculating the exchange rates in the Microsoft Store. I hope that this will answer all the questions we have there.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas, for this more or less a wrap up. Maybe a last word for you, Vincent. Otherwise, we would turn to the next presenters. That is CoreLedger. Vincent, do you have a last word?
Well, no, thank you again, once again, for the opportunity. And once again, we are open for any questions or any concern, any opportunity to share more knowledge about our solution. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Vincent, for your presentation. Maybe you can switch now to, I think, Bernhard or Richard. Bernhard, you want to take over right now? Absolutely. We have now already the presentation, CoreLedger. That looks good. Thank you very much, Bernhard. Fantastic. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Reto. So, hello and good evening to everybody. Richard, Zbinden, and Bernhard are sitting here in Liechtenstein, huh? Want video? Ah, yeah, okay. Let's see if this.
Yes.
Ah, fantastic. Now we can see you.
So we are in Liechtenstein, sitting in Liechtenstein. I mean, we are basically two CryptoMountain veterans, I would say, Reto. We have been with you all the time and supported you. And for that, it's a shame that we cannot be in Davos today and go for a ski tomorrow in the morning. But I hope we will do that next year and do our valuable discussions and networking during the morning and the evenings especially. Anyhow, a lot of you know CoreLedger. There is even CoreLedger customers in the audience, as far as I checked that. And we try to cover the topic today since we have about 20 minutes and we try to get or to stay in that time frame, how to create a digital asset in less than 10 minutes. This is our topic today. I go quickly through a short introduction on CoreLedger for the next 3 to 4 minutes. And then we switch, or I hand over to Stefan Wiemers, which is also here in our call. He's our solution consultant based in Germany, and he will then do a live demo on how to create a digital asset, and which it will be, we will see in 5 minutes. Okay, let's start on. So there is challenges like digitization, which gains more competitiveness for companies. I think there is a lack of know-how and resources when it comes to blockchain and blockchain implementation. There is not a lot of experts like Core or others maybe in the market, and there is still big lack of know-how, but there is, let's say, initiatives on blockchain. I mean, even today I had from Salesforce a message that they go on blockchain now. So there is a lot of potential in the market and also a lot of movement in the market. And there is maybe not that standard. I mean, we have this ERC standard, but there is not the standard defined yet. And there is a lot of on the standard side going on at the moment. And what we address here, or how we address the topics here on the next slide, is that we have kind of, we offer a token economy suite, which means, which consists of 3 main products. And one is the token economy operating system, which consists of, let's say, 4 core functions, which starts with the documentation, because everybody who is buying whatever token it is should know what he is going to buy. Then one part is the tokenization. The third part is the compliance and governance issues. And last but not least, we have an integrated trading or exchange functionality. And we call that, as said, TEOS, and that comes with a white label user interface. So you basically operate and use on blockchain without coding a single or writing a single code of line, and it comes with a white label app for end users. Good. Going to the next slide. As said, there is basically, we are a technology provider with at the moment 3 core products. Of course, we are still, I mean, we are working on that for since about 3 years now, a bit more than 3 years. Approaching now the market with our offering, and TEOS is the underlying framework. I would say consists of a set of smart contracts, API and SDK functionalities. On top of that, we have, as said, a white label solution, which gives you the opportunity to use it immediately and build up on a fast track your business case and tokenize. We will see that in a minute. And last but not least, we have an extension, kind of a bridge into the ERC standard, which allows you to extend your basically issued token on CoreLedger into an ERC, let's say 20 world or whatever, and to list that on an exchange or whatever you need to. Good. I think we are done for the intro from my side. Stefan, the next slide. Yeah, okay. So we try to, I mean, it's a big picture, but we try to explain that when we approach customers, we try to explain that in the easy way that Microsoft did somehow a user interface onto an operating system by Windows, and we put an operating system onto blockchain with the token economy operating system. So this is how we try to explain it in a briefly and easy way to prospects. Good, but now it's the last slide. Then I'm gonna hand over to Stefan with on the next slide. Show the next slide, please, Stefan.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry. Oh no, this is not the one. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Maybe Stefan, welcome. You're the first time here in this community. Maybe you can share some words about yourself, where you come from, etc. And do you ski or are you a snowboarder?
Whether not, so neither a skier or a snowboarder. So I'm not so familiar with the winter sports stuff, but happy to be here for the first time and in that call to give you now the insights into our solution and how does it look like and how we can create an asset in a couple of minutes. Fantastic. Perfect. So in the next 7 minutes or 7 to 10 minutes, we want to show you how easy it will be, or it is, to create an asset with the CoreLedger technology, and therefore you will see two applications. First, we are concentrating more on the left or the right, depending on the view, how you will look on the screen. So what you will see here is our white label marketplace, what we need to create an asset, what we need to create and document this specific digital asset. Additionally, we can issue and destroy tokens, offer tokens on the market, and so on and so forth. So this is our graphical user interface, and the white label marketplace interact with our technical infrastructure, the Theos part, what Bernhard has explained. That's the first one we need for asset creation. Secondly, we also need, and this is what you will see on the other side, we will need kind of our TX mobile app. It's a smartphone application which is available on Android and iOS for signing transactions. So whatever we will do in the white label marketplace, then we can sign this transaction with our smartphone application. And if we now want to start the asset creation, therefore, let's go to assets. And first of all, then we are saying, okay, we want to create a completely new asset. And when we thought about, hey, what kind of asset we can create in this specific event, in this online event, we said, okay, maybe it's interesting to create an individual CryptoMountain rocks token. That's the first part, what you'd have to do in the feature documentation or tokenization here, what Bernhard said, with the 4 features. We will cover all of these 4 during the next couple of minutes. So first part, tokenization. We are saying here, first of all, we have the name. Secondly, we have to put a kind of additional description. So the CryptoMountain rocks token, this is asset-based token, etc. And we will give then the token holders the right to buy tickets, merchandise, or something like that. So that's the purpose of this token. Then we say, okay, what's the jurisdiction? You will see here, we can select from a specific drop-down menu, let's say Switzerland. And then it's a kind of type what we have to select. The next part is it's a financial topic, it's a commodity, it's a document. You see here very flexible types you can select. And if something is missing, we can for sure add it to the list. It's a commodity, and then you can select the real units, so the real life units, what you're using, like kilograms, ounce, square meters, or easily it's an each. Last information here, the total unit fraction, and then we can go to the next slide. And then in this part, we are speaking all about documentation. So we are adding specific properties to this asset to describe it more in detail. So as an example, first of all, we want to say, okay, who's the issuer of this token? We can set up a predefined collection item list where you can select or adapt to your use cases and select then one of these properties like company. For sure, we have a company address like address line. We have the zip code, we have the town, we have the country, only to put a few of them. We can also go back and say redemption. We have additional information like maybe for what purposes we can use this token. We can describe more in detail. We can say, okay, from valid to and valid from, or we can also add in this last part, maybe also a website where the interested users can get more details. So if we say, okay, first of all, it's then CryptoMountain rocks. Let's put it in that way. Then we have the address of Barer Straße 10. So we are located, and so on and so forth. So you can describe it very easily here. Also then from a drop-down list. Then we have different types. It can be a drop-down, what you have seen. It can be a pick list. So very easily to put all these information together and then say, okay, this token should be valid from today, and then maybe till the end of May. And the website here, you can then add the specific information with more details, as an example. So that's all what you can do here from the documentation part. And if we go to the next slide, then we are coming to the topic of governance and compliance. So with the controller functionality, we will have a black and white list feature available directly in the asset creation part, so that you can limit access to this specific token by adding a controller to the asset, and then allow or not allow people or wallets then to get the token. And the last topic is, you see it on the right hand side here, we have to activate the token. And since when we click activate on the button here, then you will see, okay, you have to sign something with the TAL application. And this is what you know. So we'll see on the right hand side, you will see, first of all, the open transactions and the closed ones to also get the history. And then it popped up, you will get an alert or an info message on your smartphone application that you have to activate an asset. You will see which asset is it, see the details, can also show more. And then last but not least, what we have to do is, yeah, for sure, we want to save this asset, and now it will be saved and stored on the blockchain part. And you will see directly, if we click on OK here, wait a second, there's also this bell icon with a little one. Now we see, okay, the asset was signed. And the next thing what we will do is, once the asset is activated, we can go back, go to the issued assets, scroll down to the bottom of the list, and then we will see our CryptoMountain Rocks token. And the first or the next step, what we then have to do is create the token and say, okay, perfect. We want to create a couple of tokens. Let's say we want to create 100,000 tokens, and this is the next step. Then create, and creation process means also then again a new transaction needs to be signed on the application, smartphone application. Hey, do we want to really create 100,000 tokens? Click on confirm, and now you have your asset created, have the tokens created, what you can do, and now you want to bring it on the market, and therefore we have to create a supply, because this is then the fourth feature, what Bernhard showed, the trading part, and therefore we will switch from the asset to the market and create the conditions. What does it mean if we want to trade this specific asset? And therefore you will first of all see the different supplies you have already created, and then click on create supply and say, what's your proposed asset? So our proposed asset is, for sure, it's the CryptoMountain Rocks token. And what you want to get for that, you want to change it maybe into a kind of Swiss franc token. And therefore we are defining now what's the exchange rate between the Mountain Rocks token and the exchange rate. And let's say, okay, one token, how much does it cost? It costs now, in this example, it's 1 Swiss franc. But let's say, hey, what are the benefits then for the token holders? We said, okay, then they don't get it for 1 franc. Maybe they will get it for 0.7 Swiss franc to have some donations in this example. And now this means, okay, we have 1 CryptoMountain tokens cost 0.7 Swiss franc. And if we sell 1, then for sure we are getting 0.7 Swiss franc in that purpose. So that's the supply we are creating, and for also defining here the end date of the supply. And that's it. You will also activate this step, and now you're allowing specific users or all users to get part of your token and use the application for that. So last step here, again, sign this transaction and say confirm. And now if we go back and all is set up and go back to the asset, we see it in our holdings. And the good thing here is you're still getting or holding the overview, because you will see the additional descriptions, what we had maintained. We will see the different tokens we have created. We will see the supplies. So it's all summarized in the white label marketplace, so that you still have the overview, what has done, who has your tokens. So everything is documented. And also if you want to do some changes afterwards, you can always do an amendment, but the original things, what we described with the first activating of this asset, are still true. And also that you can download all the information, the kind of PDF or prospectus information that you have all you need for the token creation or asset creation. So this should give you a quick insight how easy it is to bring your token to life without typing any or a single line of code. And this is what we wanted to show you in the quick solution when we walked through to you guys.
Great stuff. Thank you, Stefan. So we thought doing a CryptoMountain Rocks token is maybe a good idea, and we had a quick one with Reto this afternoon if he would be happy to get a CryptoMountain Rocks token, and of course he raised the question of the compliance issues and so on and so on. So we will deal with that maybe as well, and maybe next year we will have a CryptoMountain Rocks token issued on CoreLedger with an app from CryptoMountain Rocks, where you can buy your t-shirts, tickets, or whatever, and you do kind of a donation. That would be the idea. We talk about that with Reto after, let's say, CryptoMountain Rocks Digital 2020. If there is any question, please feel free, or feel free to reach out at any time. Thank you.
Good wow, stuff. I'm pretty smashed and surprised, very positively surprised about this. I mean, you said something about this, but I mean, it's extremely impressive what you have done with this tool. This looks very easygoing, and as a matter of fact, I mean, you always ask the same questions. To what extent can you do that? What says the Treuhänder about this? These kind of questions you have. I mean that the community CryptoMountain could profit from such a token. I'm completely convinced, and we have also some elements that can be connected to. Absolutely. I mean, you as one of the first members of the community, you definitely have, in a way, you know what's needed. Maybe have a look on the discussion board. FNA.
No questions. Everything is clear.
It's really clear in my view. So the only question we have, when is the next event? We had the plan to do it in the mountains, but since Stefan, who has presented, maybe is more in a summer setup, then we can think about the summer event, because we have some alternative to cheese fondue. We can do something else. This is one thing. The other thing is we can maybe go biking rather than skiing. And there are many other ideas. The most important thing is always to have enough liquidity. And I think this this is our experience from the last events. Is on your side, Christian, what's your impression about this?
You mean about the live event in general, like doing this on a live stream format instead of the?
No. I mean this token ideas.
Oh right, you mean the presentation specifically? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I love the idea, and I see how the technology progresses. Right, there used to be a time not that long ago when it was only, creating your own token was only reserved for a tiny portion of, let's just call them super nerds, people who actually understand how the underlying blockchain tech works, right? And now what you've just demonstrated is it becomes easier and easier to join the space to create new business models based on that, right? Because blockchain, of course, it enables so many new business models and use cases that just weren't there before, and making this available and more accessible to entrepreneurs out there that may not have the technical knowledge to program everything by themselves. I think that's going to have an impact, absolutely.
And this is also our main goal. I mean, we see ourselves as an enabler for future token economies. I mean, there will be a token economy for sure. The question is when it will really pick up. But as I said, I see also a lot of movement in the space, and I think the time will come where we talk about whole token economies and token economy systems, and then we need kind of platforms who help people to issue, to manage, to amend, to do administrative stuff and so on. I think this is something we will need in the future. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Of course, I mean the platform we are offering is kind of generic, so it's not, as you have seen, it's not specific for. I mean, we took the CryptoMountain Rocks token because we had no better idea. I think it's kind of a good story, but I mean it could be. I mean, I think Carlos is also here in the audience with the Finca, and we also issued, for example, the Finca token on CoreLedger. We have diamonds, we have gold, and so on. So there's a lot of basically use cases, as you said, Chris, before, and I think what we try to do is just providing a generic framework, which is white label, where there is a white label possibility with an end user app, which is also kind of a white label app for an easy access into the blockchain or token. This is our goal. Yeah. So Reto, thanks a lot for hosting that today, even though there is a lot of hassles and coronas around, and giving us the opportunity.
I mean, I remember some years ago, I mean, we have really have had a journey over the course. I mean, we have seen a phase where you just have this proof of concept stuff. Then it turns into the very first ICOs. And I remember a presentation I did, and this phase here.
Are you actually
this phase here? This phase is over. I mean, the hot air is done, and we are now definitely in a phase where we bring real stuff and really go out with real stuff. And so it's great to see that. And one of the things I really looking forward to after your presentation, now we are going to this life hack of Thomas. I hope he is still there, not shying away because of my
No.
Is it not interesting? Now it's more about showing something live than just talking on slides and stuff like that. It has changed the past 4 years dramatically. I like it. Good stuff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So now let's switch over to Thomas.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thomas?
Hi. Yeah, how are you too after 2 or 3 hours of moderating this thing here?
We're having fun.
Sure. I mean,
certainly different, but
thank you for the office. I mean, we reflect it a little bit.
Okay, cool.
So you are in Davos, I see, yeah?
Yeah, I'm in Davos in the Alphütte. No. No, yeah, it was a great presentation before here from Stefan, Bernhard, and CoreLedger. It's exactly where we point here also, and we have here the API on the left side that is underlaying on the uConekt PSP solution. On the other side, we see the Ether scan is for tracking, that we see how the transactions are going forward. And below on the right corner, we see the Slack. I have chosen the Slack because it's very heavy to show you here by the camera, the mobile phone. So I have pointed the webhooks into the Slack, so we see that the transaction is going forward. What I want to show you in the next couple of minutes is firstly creating wallets, custody service, and then specifically go into the API tracker, because that is the most important component at the end of a PSP solution. You have to track payments that comes in and it goes out. We have produced this as an agnostic layer on the top of different blockchains. We have one, the Bitcoin, and we have one other one, the Ether here. I've chosen the Ether because if you have to presentate something, if you have to wait 20 minutes till you have 3 confirmations, it's not so cool in a video presentation at the end. So let us go into it. Firstly, we have seen in the live demo before too that we have a mobile phone with some transactions to sign and so on. So before you do something like that, you have to create a wallet or an address or however. If we create a wallet, here is the custody solution of core technologies that have 2 or 3 features. I will reset it here for showing you clear. So let me show you here. We have here the first point is a symbol. We could create a Bitcoin address, or we could create an Ether address here by using the exactly same API. Then we see here public keys. That is the representation of 2 devices in this case here. One is the mobile phone from person A and another one is the mobile phone from person 2. Then we could set the time limits in minutes, how fast they have to sign the authorization transactions if there is a request. And then we could say, how is the quorum? If we have like 5 devices here, we could set the quorum from 1 to 2 to 3, or how many we want to sign till the transaction is valid. All these things are going off-chain. It's connected to the HSM network in our data centers. That's very important because if we have to store money, that have to be in a secure environment at the end. So let's create firstly an ETH address here, completely fresh. In the API, we will receive it here now. We have here created now a wallet with a proof of coin process below. So we are sure that the private key on the HSM is ready to use for that. Firstly, I will copy it to here. Now that could be that this is the merchant address of a user of the PSP solution. And now, as we could imagine any other, someone want to pay in something to this address, and we have to notify the ERP system of a customer. So let's imagine that this Slack here below is the ERP system that will receive the transactions. So let me do with my wallet software here. I'm the customer of an online shop and I have to pay in here now a small amount of Ether, like 0.00. Oh, I've copied something that is not really good here. Let me copy it from here. So super. And then let us send this transaction. And as a result of that, we should see firstly on Etherscan that the transaction is going on. Let me pick up here that back. Oh, I forgot a step. Sorry for that. We have to add the wallet address to the tracker, of course. Maybe we are fast enough because the transaction is going on here. Let's have a look at that. And as a result of that, we should see on the Slack below that the transaction, that the framework has notified the ERP system that there is a new transaction that comes in. On the other side, we have to sign transactions and we have to send it out. That is the second part of this presentation. And if you imagine, it looks here now as a really easy application. We have another 54 seconds till the transaction is on the network. But if you have to imagine, if you have to, I would say, monitor like 3,000 addresses or maybe 100,000 addresses, and you have to send webhooks to like 100 different ERP systems, is a big data application. So we run this application on the IBM Linux 1 because we need the power to have this big data system that is exactly manages all these transactions. Of course, all we know that Ether could not do 1 million of transactions in a second, but we have maybe to track 1 million of addresses. And that maybe in different kind of blockchain types like Bitcoin or Ether or what? Yeah, there are a couple of different addresses at the end. So let me show here. We have the address here, and then let's give a little bit. It looks like that the confirmations are not that fast. Currently, we have 5 confirmations. I've configured that we need 6 confirmations till a transaction should be notified to the ERP system. Let's get here a little bit the information. Now we see here we have 6 confirmations, and we have received here the address, the transaction, the amount, the blockade, the exactly timestamp in UTC, and the confirmations we have. We could configure all this stuff here, confirmations in Ether or BTC. It's completely agnostic. This is the demo version here. We have more than 60 different cryptocurrencies that we could handle here. Every customer could put here his own webhook URL. If you want to receive this to your ERP system or whatever, you could put here your webhook URL, and then the system will notify your ERP system by this. So let's have a little bit a look into signature. We have now transferred some money, in this case, to this wallet here. We see that there should be an amount of 0.001 Ether on this. I hope that we could prepare here now the thing. Let me get the public key of this here. Then we have the symbol. We will do an Ether transaction. We will use here 0.001 Ether. Then the from is our address we have created before here. Then let us pick up this, and I will transfer back it to my private wallet because we have to do a refund here maybe or something like that. Let us prepare the transaction. As a result of this preparation, I will receive for my mobile phone a token challenge, and I have to sign that on my mobile phone. It's on the other screen. Let me put back this here so you have a look at it. Whoops. this. I need the swagger here again for doing that. Then we have to sign this by our own private key with my mobile phone. Let me do that shortly here. Private key. I have a signature here. Whoops. So I have now here the signed. So next method we have to call is of course the signed challenge here. I will do it now. Let me pick up here this value. Back. So sorry for that. Is off chain here. Public key. Let's get a list of the transactions here. Execute. So let me get the token challenge here. So it's this one here. We have a transaction ID here from this one. So let me put this here to the transaction. So it's prepared here. Where is this transaction ID? So, and then signed challenge. We have also signed challenge, and then we do the last request here of the refund example. Try it out. Transaction. Oh no, it's the sender. Sorry, it was the sign here. Let me put the full signed stuff here, and then we have the public key of it here again. And I hope I have put it all in the right place. No, it was bad. Payload ID was there, challenge ID was there. There's something now not working as expected. ETH we have, transaction ID we have. Sorry for that. I will pick up it again from the list. Oops. It's this one. It's this one here. Payload list, payload ID. Maybe that it is the second one, huh? The public key is this one here. Whoopty-whoops. So let me sign the challenge again here on this one. Okay, then get the public key from here. So yeah, then we need this private key here for signing this. Sorry for that mistake here. So, oh. So I will pick up it again, try it again, and then it should work. So let me do this. No, there's something really messed up now. I don't know exactly what's going on. That is the really a step where we receive from the HSM the signed transaction, and we will send back this to the yeah, no, that I not know exactly what I have mistaked here now. Sorry for that. And then we will refund this transaction to the customer, and at the end we will see here another transaction on the Slack as a result of that. And that is the underlying big data system we have as necessary. I maybe from you, Bernhard, I have another question to you. If you could shortly unmute you. Bernhard? Yeah, maybe he's no more online, huh? Because I have here a concrete question now too, or maybe you, Stefan, are online.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, the question I had before too is you have showed us that the token was generated, and which part of this you have done on chain and off chain? How this is connected, because this is very related to this topic here too at the end.
Yeah, so this is something for the real technical expert. I'm not able to answer that question.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
If you issue
as soon as you sign, then it's on chain. So the hash is on chain, but the documentation itself is in a document DB, and the hash of the document DB of the information is then in the blockchain. So
yes, cool.
It's on the blockchain.
So that means you sign with the private key of your mobile phone at the end.
Yes.
Yes. So what we see here is exactly the counterpart, specifically this API custody wallet method here. It's there are a couple of questions if you lose this private key at the end on your mobile phone. So what we have done here is putting the private key deeply into the data center on a secure Swiss HSM. And then if you lose your private key, you only have to change the public keys of the private key that is in the data center. And you have in any case the quorum. So that is exactly what we have seen here at the first stage. If you have to issue something or if you have to create something, you need a private key. And it's a very bad idea in a long-term section to store this only on your mobile phone, so you're directly confronted with having a backup anywhere else of this. And a lot of our customers are using this solution exactly for that, because you don't want to have all your money on a private key that is in your mobile phone, and maybe you lose this mobile phone and then you have lost the access to your digital assets, even if it's a digital asset that we have seen before, or even if it's a digital asset that we have seen earlier before from uConekt. So it's very important to have this really, really deep in the data center. And there was the question before, also from Vitus, I think so, how it's connected to your ERP. You will receive a webhook in JSON format to your application, so you could handle it by yourself. It has exactly the format you need to work forward on it. On the other side, you need also a couple of query services, like you need to query the blockchain, specifically transaction list or something like this. But on the other side, you need also maybe a lot of informations about a smart contract specifically. We have seen before, maybe you have the address. Is it possible to send me the address, Stefan, of the wallet that you have the Crypto Rocks tokens on it, or something like this?
It's running on our pre-sales tenant.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
No, then I will show you here my own. Okay, then I will show you here my own wallet on that, because we will see now all the ERC tokens that are on this wallet with one query request. That is very important.
That would have been super cool with the CryptoMountain token. That would have been a really...
Yeah, it will work at the end, but if we don't have the wallet address, that is very heavy to put in here. Totally. But I have picked up my own wallet here shortly for showing you that if we have here now this token list, we see the tokens, the smart token, the valid token, the whatever airdropped token to my wallet. But if I the CryptoMountain Rocks token, that is a very important functionality you need also for tracking transactions. And that is also a big data system behind, because as you know, if you have to run a node specifically from Ether in parity mode, you need like 2 terabytes, and then you need like 2 or 3 of these nodes. And if you have like 20 or 30 different cryptocurrencies, is a really big data system. So you need a big amount of power to run all these services. On the other side, it could be now Stefan and Bernhard has deployed the smart contract of the Ethereum blockchain. But let me pick up here the smart token, and then you need maybe some information about this smart contract, and then you could receive it here to the smart token. You will receive here this so-called ABI that you see which methods has a token at the end or not. And that is very important too for third-party players like an ERP system, that you could interact with smart contracts on this side. We have hundreds or thousands of different methods in different APIs. For here we see a facade that was prepared for this presentation here. But on the other side, if you have a specific question here now in this audience, you could ask me. Maybe we have the API and we could have a look into that if you are interested in some kind of specifically method or whatever. Or if you have any questions from the presentation before from uConekt, you could ask me here now, specifically also technical details.
Thomas, to come back to your question about sending basically the ERC or seeing the ERC20 token, what we created in CoreLedger today, the CryptoMountain rocks token, is a CoreLedger internal.
Corona ledger.
Oh my God. That was really the best thing here now.
But it's maybe the truth, because it's this token. If you don't have a PT, this premium token extension is in an array within the integration contract of CoreLedger.
Okay.
So you cannot store it in the traditional way in your wallet. You would need access to our API to store it in your solution. Except you have this premium token extension, then basically you can store the ERC20 token in the traditional way in your wallet.
Yeah, I understand.
Just to explain the difference.
Yeah.
That's also one of the reasons, as we are not creating a smart contract each time internally. That's one of the reasons why this is so easy to do.
Yeah.
If we add a premium token extension, then we have to add the proxy address to this ERC20 extension.
Yeah.
And then basically the amount of tokens and rules are managed within CoreLedger, but the token smells like an ERC20, behaves like an ERC20, and is stored like an ERC20 token.
Okay, I see. Yeah, but that's cool.
And if we get a banking project, then we speak to you in terms of custody, of course. You can be sure, Thomas.
Yeah, it's currently exactly what we have at most times, that are at the end financial institutes or other parties that are interested in having the full security solution. Yeah, they are interested in having the data center in Switzerland. They are interested to having the big machine at the end, also from IBM here, and that is also very important to understand that no one could run all of this nodes by himself or whatever. If we have to operate on 3,000 transactions per second, of course you need also for the blockchain a big system at the end. Yeah. That is also the thing.
Thomas, what is the interesting thing is that we are in the if we go for the last 4 years, token economy becomes more modular. So basically CoreLedger is about trade equal settlement, but we still need your solution to enable real world investors to invest in this kind of assets. Because if you're an institutional investor, you will not have your private key on your mobile phone. This is against all the rules.
Yeah.
And there, I think there are coming now projects, and obviously our two crypto banks have also to prove that they have everything in place to create all these things and to serve their customers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is very heavy to explain how big the system is in the end if you want to run all these notifications at the end. You have HSMs, you have servers, you have big data systems, you have to analyze all that things. You have to provide queries that is something like which wallet has done how many transactions to which wallet in the last couple of minutes or in the last month or in a specific time frame. There are also a big market for having analytics, and that is very important to understand that this is the underlying layer under all of this. And for us, one of the major things also for uConekt was exactly what we see here. I would show you the creation of the wallet here again. If we switch here now to Bitcoin or whatever for technology we have below, you could create easily also a Bitcoin address here with the same private keys of your mobile phone. So the owners don't have to create a different kind of private keys on their mobile phones to use it for a multi-authorization wallet on Bitcoin, or to use it as a multi-authorization wallet on Ether or on Litecoin or on however. It's completely independent at the end, and that is also something that is very interesting. You have showed before a very simple solution for someone that has no programming skills, but it's even heavy for someone that has already programming skills to program all this stuff on firstly on Bitcoin, then on Ether, then on Litecoin, then on you need a deep knowledge of any of these blockchains to provide this APIs at the end. And that is very impressive also that we see now that there are, of course, other players that providing similar or similar like solutions like that. And that is also something I have an eye on. We see solutions like we have seen today from uConekt, making easy payments through blockchain and fiat world at the end. On the other side, we see a solution making it simple to create your own company as a token at the end. On the other side, we have seen here now an API that makes it easy to use different blockchains at the same time with the same private keys. So I could completely agree with you, Reto, as you have explained before, that we see a progress on all the stages at the end. Yeah, from my point of view, here is the presentation is finished. Sorry for that the last method has not worked. I don't really know why, because it's a dev environment. Maybe we have deployed something a minute before here, but we have seen the tracker, we have seen the transaction on the Ether network, and that is the main part of a PSP solution at the end. Track all the transactions to give the users visual feedback on the screens, on the mobile phones, on whatever for applications you have at the end. Yeah, I will hand over back to Christian here now. Thank you very much for listening, guys.
Awesome, guys. Can you guys, just a quick test, can you hear us? Because we had to switch laptops.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. Because we had a connection problem with one of the laptops here, so we just smoothly transitioned to the next one. You didn't even feel it until I told you. All right, no, that was super interesting. It's always cool to see what's happening in the background. So it's, you know, from a user's perspective, it's always easy to say, like, what's the big deal? Just use something like PayPal and attach a Bitcoin to it. Why hasn't this been done before? And now what you've shown us is just how much technology goes into it, just how technical it can get. And yeah, I think that's always a cool thing to see. And yeah, absolutely, highly interesting.
Yeah, thank you very much, Thomas, for this life hack and also the discussion with Richard and Bernhard. It's very good. I think we still in a stage we have to
share experience. There are different perspectives. You always have some trade-offs, but I think we are very close to a situation where you can say, yes, it is secure, yes, it is approved, etc. And I think it's also one of the key elements of having CryptoMountain, where you really go into the topic and discuss things and find solutions. Okay, great. Thank you very much. We are 5 minutes before the real deadline. I plan to cheer Bitcoin, meaning that I will have tonight a pizza. It's pizza night because it's always Thursday. It's always the night we take a pizza. In remembering the very first transaction of Bitcoin, that was a pizza. Okay, let's inform you about tomorrow. Tomorrow it's we're gonna start at 4 o'clock with the second session. We talk about decentralized finance. We have a panel discussion with Katie Richards from Falcon Bank. Katie is a former UBS, and she has definitely a little bit different perspective on building a crypto bank than Signum. Signum will be presented by Georgine Rösle. She is head of B2B technologies. And finally, we also have a former banker. It's Antonio Ferrante. Antonio is senior advisor of Core Technologies. He has really the expertise of a smaller bank, that's Saxo Bank, a very efficient one. And I'm really looking forward to this panel discussion we have tomorrow. And after that, we have a session 4 about STOs, tokenization, with Daniel Wiemers. And then Jürg Müller, he will talk about stable coins. This is back in the discussions. We have seen today in LinkedIn a quote of Thomas Moser from the Swiss National Bank. It's very interesting to follow this discussion. And then finally, we will have David A. Johnson. He is founder of a stablecoin platform called PegNet. Very interesting, very successful already. And I could imagine that this will add Friday evening a very good discussion in a still hot topic. Okay. Let's finish now. Thank you very much for your contribution, and I wish you a very nice evening. See you tomorrow. Ciao.
So guys, I'm going to say goodbye as well. It was awesome hosting this event. Interesting first experience, and looking forward to doing the same thing tomorrow.
Okay. Ciao.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.